And it's a welcome to Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. It's a big day in the Hills Football Premier League season. It's grand final day for season 2020, and it's a pleasure to have your company on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. We are here live from Bernie Mullane Sports Complex, and we have a double for you. The reserve grade grand final coming up first. It is the competition premiers, Castle Hill United against Kellyville Kolts, the team that finished in second spot, and this is one we're certainly looking forward to. Our officials and teams are now out there. Anthony Capaldi is the man with the whistle. He's just speaking to our respective captains at the coin toss, and Castle Hill United, they come into this one perhaps as the favourites. They are the team that finished the season in top spot on 34 points, but only 1 point ahead of the Kellyville Kolts. Kellyville Kolts finishing second on 33 points, and this one certainly whets the appetite. We're looking forward to this. For Castle Hill United, Bruce Baker's named the following side. In goals, Jared Nichols. The back four of William Said, Luke Crisanto, Chris McLennan, Christian Gallagher. The midfield trio are Kane Bell, the captain Reece Gabriel, and Jacob Rose. And it's a front three of Lachlan Davis, Alex Winiarski, and Jake Hubbard. As for Kellyville Kolts, Andrew Bennett and Liam Lawler, they named the following side in 4-2-3-1 formation. Jared Clues in goals. A back four of Alex Van Drasco, the skipper Ryan West, Luke Bayless, and Ziad Ryder. The midfield trio, Daniel Embleton, James Maguire, and Kewan Ellis. And a front three of Khan Kilnick, Blake Iredale, and Thorne Richards. We are just about ready to get the Hills Football Premier League Grand Final for reserve grade season 2020 underway, and it will be Castle Hill United in the white top, green shorts, and they'll be running from right to left. Thanks for your company. Tony Tanous here in commentary with you. I'm here with the team from Spot On Video, and we are really looking forward to this one. Castle Hill United will be running from right to left, and they are the team that has had the edge over Kellyville Kolts in their respective clashes this year. They've won both the matches between the two sides. As I said, they come into this as the favourites, but there's not much separating them in terms of goals and points at the end of the season. So sit back, relax. It's a hot spring afternoon here in the northwest of Sydney, and Bernie Mullane is the setting. We've had a big day here. Grand finals coming back to back to back. It's been a 8 o'clock start this morning, and we are underway in the reserve grade Hills Premier League Grand Final for season 2020, and it's Castle Hill United with the first possession, but bringing it down. Jacob Rose in the midfield and trying to spread the play out there. 41 is Thorne Richards. It's the big presence at the back of Ryan West, such an experienced presence, the skipper for Kellyville Kolts. He's sitting alongside of Luke Bayless, an experienced central defensive pair against this young Castle Hill United side. Castle Hill United, of course, so much recent grand final experience in the reserve grade. They've won 3 of the last 4 reserve grade grand finals in the Hills Association, so they've got a great track record. They're on the ball early on. The early going is going to be certainly critical as they come forward now through Kewan Ellis. Colts are in the box here. Chance for Ellis to tee this one up, and it was an important piece of defending there. Working backwards, Crisanto. An important challenge. Crisanto alongside Chris McLennan in the centre of defence for Castle Hill United. But it's early on. Kellyville Kolts, they're on the front foot. We're only a couple of minutes into this one. Temperature nudging over 30 degrees, so certainly summer appears to be hitting us quite early. Grand final bathed in sunshine. It's a chance now for the Kolts. They're trying to keep this one alive. Jacob Rose, and now driving forward is Thorn Richards. Thorn Richards part of that front third. So Khan Kilnick, who's got the most number of sits for this Kellyville Kolts reserve grade side. He's on the right side. Thorn Richards on the left. And then it's Blake Iredale through the middle in the number 13 jersey. Behind him is Kewan Ellis. So that's the front four for Andrew Bennett and Liam Lawless, Kellyville Kolts. And it's a battle for possession now in the midfield. And Kane Bell, who forms a formidable part of that midfield, the holding midfielder. Now it's Jake Hubbard, who looks to get it forward into the feet of Alex Winiarski. Winiarski playing in that number 9 role, number 13 jersey for Castle Hill United. Down by Christian Gallagher to Kane Bell. Just trying to keep a bit of possession here. Both sides trying to settle into this match. It's grand final football. Expect a frantic pace as McLennan switches it out to Cresanto. Now it's the skipper, Enrique Gabriel. Plays alongside Kane Bell in that midfield. Now looking to get it forward down the right-hand side. Good build-up. Lachlan Davis, live wire on that right-hand side. Is that a good second half of the season for Castle Hill United? James Maguire dropping off to help set up the play here for the Kolts. And now Ryan West, he gets it out to Alex Van Drasco, such a key part of the attack for Kellyville Kolts. That time it's Thorn Richards drifting into an offside position. But keep an eye out for the number 27 for Kellyville Kolts, the right back, number 27. We saw him try and combine there with Thorn Richards, but Richards was just in an offside position. Van Drasco, such a key part of this side. Header down here by Maguire. Now Hubbard's competing with Van Drasco, the two number 27s on this near touchline. Van Drasco down the line, over the head of Gallagher. And McLennan has to clean that one up. Nice little knock back there from Gabriel. And a good switch out here to Davis. Gabriel looks to get the right back going forward. That is William Said. Both sides very progressive down the right-hand side in the early part of the match. Lachlan Davis and William Said there. You could see him trying to get forward. We've seen Van Drasco and Thorn Richards on the near touchline for Kellyville Kolts. So an early pointer in this match. Just past 5 minutes. No score yet. Thanks for your company on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. A big doubleheader today of grand finals. A showcase of the Hills Football Premier League. What a season it's been. Fortunate, of course, to get the season underway at the beginning of July after the break due to COVID, the enforced isolation period. Knocked out 3 or 4 months of the football season. We were fortunate to get football underway at the beginning of July. We've had a 14-round competition. And at the end of the 14 rounds, Castle Hill United have finished atop the reserve grade ladder. And Kellyville Kolts just behind them, only a point behind them. Last week, Castle Hill United played the team that finished 4th in Borkham Hills, and they had a 3-1 victory over Borkham Hills. They were 2-0 up at the halftime break. Borkham Hills pegged one back early in the second half to make it 2-1, but Castle Hill United were able to seal it through Lachlan Davis late on, so a 3-1 victory for them, taking them into the grand final. As I said, they've got a great record, and here is the man who sealed it last week in Davis. Couldn't quite shake off James Maguire, and here's Maguire again, key part of that midfield. Now it's a nice little bit of combination through that midfield with Daniel Embleton. Here is Embleton. It's been really important for Andrew Bennett and Liam Lawler in the second half of the season. Good read, that one from Christian Gallagher. And he's able to utilise his speed quickly in counter-attack. Referee Anthony Capaldi playing advantage here. And suddenly Jake Hubbard's in behind. And he can combine with Gallagher. Gallagher looks across. And at the second effort, it's Daniel Embleton dealing with that one. 6.5 minutes have elapsed here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. Reserve grade grand final. Just a chance to get a throw in on this near side. Christian Gallagher. Now Kane Bell. Likes to get forward from that holding midfield role. Gallagher now whips it in. Winiarski was the target there. It's going to come out to McLennan. Now a bit of work defensively as Kane Bell looks to get it across for Castle Hill United. Castle Hill on the front foot now. Bell taking up some high positions. McLennan feeding it forward out of central defence. Spoke about Castle Hill's 3-1 victory over Borkham Hills last week. Kellyville Kolts themselves, a 2-0 victory over Kenthurst, a team that finished in third spot on the ladder. So that game was 1-0 for large parts. It was only a late goal from Bo Duffy that sealed it after Khan Killink scored a screamer to give the Colts a 1-0 lead. It was a late show that sealed it as Kenthurst came forward looking for their equaliser. Colts were able to seal it through a counter-attack goal deep into stoppages for Bo Duffy. So that 2-0 victory set up this date today against Castle Hill United, who looked to go forward quickly there. Kane Bell was the player on the ball, trying to feed Jake Hubbard. Jake Hubbard has featured throughout in the reserve grade sides for much of the season. He has had a couple of games in recent weeks up in the first grade side. They've been short on numbers there. They were knocked out last week in the first grade, were Castle Hill United. They were knocked out by Kellyville Kolts, who will take part in the grand final in both grades today. So first grade coming up after this one. What a game that promises to be. Kellyville Kolts, the premiers, looking to go for the double. And they will be taking on the team that is very much on the up in the Rouse Hill Rams. They've won 6 out of their last 8 games, have Rouse Hill Rams. So that game certainly promises to be a special occasion, but we've got a fascinating contest in the reserve grade. And over the top it goes from Gabriel. Appeals for back pass there. It was the referee comfortable with the left back, Zayed Ryder. Now it's Castle Hill United to go quickly in counter-attack. A good challenge there from West though. Ryan West on Jake Hubbard. Forward it goes from Hubbard. And it's Kane Bell who's come forward. We are past the 10-minute mark here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. And it's the header down. Forward it goes now. Coming forward is Thorne Richards, and he gets it across to Blake Iredale. Iredale finds the feet of Kewan Ellis. Can't quite connect it on that far side. He's looking for Khan Killink. Now it's Kane Bell. Can look to settle it here for Castle Hill United. Forward coming back is William Said. Now he's linking it up with Davis. Patience here from Castle Hill United. Now Gabriel looking to combine with Bell. A nice 1-2 combination with Davis. There's a good little passage there from Bruce Baker's boys. Not quite able to connect in the box, but a nice little build-up. Excellent passage of play. Good little start there from Castle Hill United. And here's West looking to play it long. Too long in that, in fact, that one. And it's all the way back with the keeper in Jared Nickel. Hasn't had much to do so far. In fact, neither keeper's really been tested in the early part of the match. Jared Clues in goals for Kellyville Kolts, and Jared Nickel between the sticks for Castle Hill United. Castle Hill United certainly the team controlling possession in the main so far. We're almost 15 minutes in here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex as the Kolts, who are playing at home, got the fortune of having both games, both grand finals on home turf. Of course, this is one of a few venues being used for grand finals across the Hills Association this weekend. Understand that Hill Centenary out at Rouse Hills also being used, as is Castle Hill United's home ground in Fred Catterson as well. So got games being played right across the association, and there's a good build-up here as Van Dresco gets forward. We've spoken about how important he is to the Colts' attack right through the season as West comes forward. Picking that up is Gallagher, but only as far as Ellis. And late challenge there from West. He is in rare territory there, the skipper for the Colts. Of course, the reserve grade unlimited interchange is the option available to the coaches, and Castle Hill United have made the first interchange. They've brought on their striker in Adam DiMartino, so direct swap. DiMartino, the number 12, going into that number 9 role. And he's come on for Alex Winiarski. I will go through the substitutes for both sides. So for Castle Hill United, Ben Kershaw, Chris Beale, Josh Carnivale, Nathan Moyle, Jared Vella, Nick Wright and Adam DiMartino are the 7 substitutes. As for Kellyville Kolts, they've got the reserve keeper in Josh Rard, and then they've got Braden Pritchard, Cooper Davis, Lachlan Cash, Lachlan Gardner, Monty Margic and Marcus Kilborn. They're their substitutes for Andrew Bennett and Liam Lawler. And that hot conditions I mentioned, it's already hit the 30-degree mark before the scheduled 1 o'clock kickoff. So the temperature climbing as we go into the first weekend of October. They come forward now, the Colts. Ryder getting it back now to Killink. Key assists man for this side. Trying to take on the right back in William Said. Stands up and does his defensive job. Now he looks to hit DiMartino, who works back defensively. You sense that unlimited interchange certainly going to come into handy for both coaches the longer this match goes. If you are just joining us, we're past the 15-minute mark. 0-0 is the score. Here on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. And it is grand final day. We've got a set piece here which Khan Killink is interested in taking. No score yet in the reserve grade grand final. And Khan Killink, we spoke about how important he is at assist. He's got a couple of tall options. James McGuire's gone forward, as has the skipper in Ryan West. So Killing's going to whip this one into the back post. And it's a climb there from Ellis. Ellis was the player who got his head to it, but he couldn't shape it towards goals. And it remains 0-0. Welcome to the live stream on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. Tony Tanous here with you, along with the team from Spot On Video. We did have a few technical issues, so apologies. We had a late start here to the live stream, but we're approaching the 20-minute mark here. It's 0-0, the score between the premiers of 2020 campaign as Kellyville Kolts look to get this one over. Thorn Richards looking for Khan Killing. Now he's looking for the combination. Embleton's the player coming out of midfield. Now Davis looks to get it forward to DiMartino, who's managed to shake off Whitby. And suddenly Castle Hill United are on the counter-attack here. DiMartino, West coming across, using his body astutely there, the skipper. And he was able to make the challenge on DiMartino. Strong challenge here, high up the pitch. And suddenly Jake Hubbard's in. And he can go one-on-one. Onto the left foot he goes! And Jake Hubbard gives us the opening goal. A strong win out of the midfield from Kane Bell. And he linked it up with Hubbard. Hubbard took on his player in Vendrasco. And he went around him and shaped it across the keeper in Clues. And it's 1-0 to the Premiers. Castle Hill United take a lead. Jake Hubbard, whose form has been so good that he's been featured in the first grade side in recent weeks. He stepped back into the reserve grade side this afternoon, and he's got the opening goal. A strong win out of midfield from Kane Bell. And it's the Premiers who take the lead in the reserve grade grand final of the 2020 Hills Premier League grand final. How important was that piece of work from this man in Kane Bell, a critical part of that midfield for Castle Hill United. Spoken early in the coverage about how good the record is for this Castle Hill United side on grand final day. They've won 3 of the last 4 grand finals that they've featured in. 2016, 2018 and last year against Kenthurst. 2-1 victory against Kenthurst. So a lot of these boys have featured in grand finals. Kellyville Kolts reserve grade have not featured in a grand final for 6 years. 2014 was the last time that they featured in a grand final. So certainly Castle Hill United have the recent experience as far as reserve grade's concerned. Kolts looking to do the double today on home turf. Speaking to Liam Lawler and Andrew Bennett ahead of the game, they certainly felt Castle Hill United were the favourites and they didn't mind that position. Castle Hill United, of course, went through the entire 14-round season undefeated. A late start to the 2020 campaign due to the enforced layoff for COVID. And by the time we got the football underway, it was a 14-round season. And at the end of that, Castle Hill United finished 1 point ahead of Kellyville Kolts. But Castle Hill United, 10 wins, 4 draws from their 14 matches, so undefeated season. Kellyville, on the other hand, had 11 wins, no draws and 3 losses, so they had a better goal-scoring record. They scored 63 goals, did the Kolts, compared to 44 Castle Hill United, but Castle Hill United's defence was stronger. 11 conceded versus 18 for the Kolts, so Not a lot separating these two sides. Castle United have had the stronger defence, Colts with the stronger attack. Only 1 point separating them at the end of the season. But it's Castle Hill United have kicked off the opening half with the opening goal through Jake Hubbard. Goal coming just before the 20-minute mark. And we will be taking, I said, such hot conditions. The start of October, a long weekend here in Sydney, long weekend in New South Wales, and warm weather's greeted us for grand final weekend right across the Hills Association today. We've had games featured here since 8 a.m. Got games featured also over at Fred Catterson, the home of Castle Hill United. Also games featured out at Hill Centenary, the home of Rouse Hill Rams. Rouse Hill Rams, of course, will be in action later on. The first grade side, in only their second year in the Premier League. And they've set up a date with the competition premiers. And that's certainly one we will look forward to bringing you. Scheduled to kick off at 3 p.m, depending on how this one goes. We had a 10-minute delay to kick off here. The game's coming thick and fast. So this one was scheduled to kick off at 1 o'clock. It's kicked off 10 past 1. So we are running slightly behind schedule. But we've had no games go to extra time so far. So the games have continued to come thick and fast. And this one has certainly started in the favour of Castle Hill United. 1-0 lead for them. And we are at the drinks break. I mentioned we will be taking a drinks break in either half. What a season it's been. As I said, we started 3 or 4 months after the scheduled kickoff. We got underway in July, and it was an abbreviated season, 14 rounds, fitting that into 12 weeks. So the games came thick and fast. And here we are, the final day of the Hills Football Premier League season. We've got Kellyville Kolts in 2 grand finals, first and reserve grade. We've got Castle Hill United, a perennial fixture in the reserve grade grand final. They're here again. They've got a 1-0 lead. And then Rouse Hill Rams will feature for the first time this afternoon at 3 o'clock in the first grade game. Matt Kennison's side taking on Andrew Bennett's Premiers, Kellyville Kolts. That's one we're certainly looking forward to. Still plenty of action across Hills Association, of course, not only grand final weekend. Games coming to you today and tomorrow. The girls, all their grand finals will feature here at Bernie Mullane tomorrow. So if you are supporting one of those teams, come on down. Action right through the day. Referees also taking the chance just to have a bit of a refreshment there. It's really hot conditions. Season's been played in cool conditions, but right now the temperature's saying 31 on the field. It's even hotter with the synthetic surface here at Bernie Mullane. So the referees have done the right thing, given the players plenty of time to take on refreshments. Anthony Capaldi, the man they call Chich, our match official for this one, and his assistants, Nick Ritchie, the A1 on the far side, and the A2 on the near side, Chanel Odendahl, doing a wonderful job, as they have been all season. Initiatives will keep coming for Hills Association. We've got the Hills Academy Term 4 kicking off for players registered with the Hills Association between the ages of 5 and 16. That starts on the 12th of October. So be sure to jump on the website academy.hillsfootball.com.au for all the information there. That one kicking off on the 12th of October, Term 4 of the Hills Academy. A restarting action here with a goal kick to the keeper, Jared Nickel. Just one of the initiatives for the players aged between 5 and 16, the Hills Football Academy. For those in the younger age bracket, 3 to 5, the Little Legends. And that's kicking off on the 13th of October. So jump on littlelegends.hillsfootball.com.au for all the details to register your child for Little Legends football between the ages of 3 and 5. Terrific introduction to this great game, this beautiful game that we love so much. And what a pleasure it is to bring you the Hills Association in its 4th year. We've been with you for Match of the Round right throughout the season and Match of the Round from the first grade, and it's a pleasure to be here for the grand final for both reserve grade and first grade, so a double header. And I hope you have enjoyed the coverage throughout the season. Hope you sit back and enjoy the coverage today. Coming to you from Bernie Mullane Sports Complex number 1. We're on top of the spot-on video production truck. We've got Luca behind the camera today. Gary doing a wonderful job as always with the production. So sit back, perhaps with the air condition on in the comfort of your lounge room. This is your place for all the action this afternoon from the Hills Football Association as the key assist man so far, Kane Bell, tries to feed Di Martino. Made a bit of a change as well during that drinks break that brought on Josh Carnavale in the number 10 role, a player with lots of experience at MPL level. Some time at Spirit FC, also Blacktown City. Coming forward is Vendrasco. Kane Bell again. He's had a terrific start to this match, and it was his pass to Jake Bell which set up the opening goal. And Hubbard's in behind again. Bell again feeding Jake Hubbard, the only goal scorer so far that time. Important work from James Maguire out of midfield. Hubbard's really relishing the 1v1s against Vendrasco at the moment, as getting it forward down the right-hand side is Thorne Richards. And he's earned the corner kick here. Half an hour into this match. We will have, of course, some additional time due to that drinks break. But we've got a set piece here. Kellyville Kolts, they're 1 down. And they've got a set piece with Khan Killink on the ball here. Scored a screamer last week. This time he's looking to play the role of provider. This one's drifted in, and it's a good attack on it from Vendrasco, the right back. Alex Vendrasco couldn't quite get his header towards goal, but another aerial threat. Got a lot of aerial options. Vendrasco, West, James Maguire's another tall figure, as is Luke Bayliss, the other central defender. So Nickel finds Hubbard. He's had an influential start to this match. He's already on the score sheet. Now Di Martino is down the sideline here. Chance to get the cross in, and he's looking for Carnavale. It's taken a deflection off the central defender in Luke Bayliss. Carnavale looked to be unmarked there in the box. Great to see Josh Carnavale on the pitch, a player who had to pass a late fitness test in the warm-up. He strained a hamstring at training ahead of last week's semi-final. He had to miss out on the semi-final last week. And so he's hoping that freshness will come in handy today, particularly in this heat. It's a corner now to Reece Gabriel. In it goes, the header away. Thorne Richards was the player who got to that defensively. Now it's another substitution with Nathan Moyle on, the number 32. Playing in the centre of defence alongside this young fella in Crisanto. Now it's Kane Bell, his movement is very good. This time he can't quite link it in that front third. fact, it looks like Nathan Moyle's come on at right back, so he's replaced William Said. Those interchanges will continue to come thick and fast, particularly in this weather. Good value so far are Castle Hill United for their lead. Nice little build up now, Vendrasco and Richards, but well read by McLennan there. Came across to cover that as Colts look to double up on this right-hand side through Richards and Vendrasco, and now it's Embleton. Out he switches it through Bayliss. He was looking to get the left back. It is something that Kellyville Colts like to do. They like to send their fullbacks high up the pitch. It is very much their style of the first grade side. We've seen that through Sam Fell and Sebastian Mezzatapia throughout the season in first grade. And in the reserve grade, they've got Alex Vendrasco. And they've got Zayed Ryder down that left-hand side. Vendrasco down the right-hand side. That time, the ball overhit by Bayliss. Good win there by Ellis. And it's Iredale, the younger brother of Reese Iredale from the first grade side. So Blake Iredale, the number 13 jersey here. Both play at the pointy end of the attack. Blake Iredale's got himself six goals this season. Certainly, that's the last we heard of the goal-scoring charts. Updates came all the way through to round 12. The Golden Boot race was closed off at the end of round 12 to provide a bit of surprise at the end of the season. So, at that point, Blake Iredale had scored 6, and this is a nice little build-up. Just a final connection there from Castle Hill United. They've swapped their fullbacks around, and it was Gallagher driving forward from right back. Perhaps they've identified something. Bruce Baker with his assistance on that far side in Steve Berry and also John O'Langan. What an experienced trio of coaches that is. Of course, Steve Berry, lots of experience as a former NSL player, also former New South Wales top flight footballer. Spent time at Sydney United, Blacktown City, Parramatta Power as well. John O'Langan, a famous name across the New South Wales top flight. His sons are part of the first grade squad at Castle Hill United, so he's been involved along with Bruce Baker. So not a bad brains trust over there for Castle Hill United. And it's a lovely switch that time. They found Richards in counter-attack. Can they make it stick? Here is Iredale. Perhaps a little rush there. He's looking for Killink. Just couldn't quite get it under control, the counter-attack. Fluid intake, such a key part with the hot conditions today. Speaking to Bruce Baker ahead of the game, certainly something that he felt his young team, perhaps that youth on this in these hot conditions might help them deal with it. Keeping fluids up, such a critical part of the build-up to today's game. Big occasion, of course. Hubbard trying to apply the press on his opposite number in Vendrasco, all the way back to Jarrett Clues. He manages to get it back to Vendrasco, and he can look to switch it through to Killink. Nice little touch to Iredale. Good idea from Iredale there. You could see, tried to play that header over the top to Killink. Now Maguire. This time his ball a little bit short, but so was Gallagher's. In there was Kewan Ellis. Now it's with Embleton. It's been so critical in recent weeks for this Kellyville Colts side. Forward they come down the left-hand side. And in it comes, looking for that back post. Vendrasco high up the pitch again. Couldn't quite get on the end of it. Come out through Moyle. Now DiMartino, the skipper in Gabriel, working backwards Vendrasco. He's back up on his feet and finding Ellis. And he can drive at this Castle Hill United side. You can see what he was trying to do there. The move was made by Killing, but he couldn't quite link it up with him. We're approaching the final 5 minutes of the first half, but remember we have had a drinks break. That did take a couple of minutes, so expect to see at least a couple of minutes added on in stoppage time. Coming to you live from Bernie Mullane Sports Complex, the first of a doubleheader. The Hills Football Premier League Grand Finals for season 2020. A season that's, of course, been interrupted. Castle Hill United, if you've just joined us, they took a lead just before the 20-minute mark. And number 27, Jake Hubbard, getting on the end of a nice win out of midfield from Kane Bell. And there was Castle Hill United looking to go quickly in counter-attack, but the flag on that far side was up. We are going to see the changes continue to be rung. Thorn Richards going to get himself a bit of a rest. We've seen Jared Vella come on that right-hand side as well. So Richards has a bit of a rest. Vendrasco moves high up the pitch, and on is Lachlan Gardner, the right back. So, of course, if you just joined us, it is unlimited interchanges in the reserve grade. Not so in first grade later on. 5 substitutions allowed during the 90 minutes. They get an additional substitution in extra time if it does go to extra time in first grade. In reserve grade, unlimited interchanges. Made a couple of changes. Lachlan Cash has also come on that left-hand side of the attack. So it looks like Cash is on that left side of the defence, and having a rest now is Kewen Ellis. So both coaches ringing the changes. Looks like Ben Kershaw's come on for Castle Hill United. The number 23's gone straight up into the attack. What a goal-scoring record he's had this season. Ben Kershaw off the bench. Player who's come up through the ranks here at Castle Hill United. He's had a difficult last 12 or 18 months with a broken foot. He's been out for large periods, but he's come back this year and he's made a massive impact coming off the bench in this reserve grade side. He scored last week in that 3-1 victory. It was his 7th goal of the season. One occasion he came off the bench and got himself a hat-trick within 15 minutes of coming on. So certainly can find the back of the net. Ben Kershaw, he's gone into the front third. And right now it's West having a ping from distance. And it wasn't a bad effort there from the skipper. Ryan West unleashing from range. Jared Nicol getting his body behind that one. Fairly comfortable in the end for the keeper. Certainly a lot of power. Nice work in the midfield. Cooper Davis, another of the fresh players that's come off the bench. Now it's at the feet of Vendrasco. Vendrasco not shy in having a ping there. And a couple of good moments all of a sudden for the Colts. They've had a couple of efforts on goal. They haven't been able to create too much so far in this first half, so a bit of encouragement as we go into the final 5 minutes of this first period. When he's Kershaw applying a bit of physicality off the bench. And he's going to become the first player booked. Ben Kershaw goes into the book, so yellow card. A little bit too physical there. A couple of minutes before the halftime break. Here's their leading scorer in reserve grade, is Ben Kershaw. He's got to be careful from here. Said he's club stalwart of this Castle Hill United club. He'll be delighted to be back on the pitch and certainly going to put himself about here. Maguire happy to work that one back to his keeper. Now Maguire looking for the switch out. Cash is the target. Exchanging passes with Cooper. Well, Cooper Davis there, number 14. And here he is. The ball back into the midfield. Now it's Vendrasco. Moved Khan Killing back to left back, so this not only changes off the bench, but changes in position. Keeping us on our toes here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex as Lachlan Gardner tried to find Vendrasco. They're the combination now on the right-hand side. So Killing and Cash on the left-hand side. Gardner and Vendrasco on the right-hand side. The midfield trio, Embleton, Maguire, and in that number 10 role is Cooper Davis. Still got Blake Idale at the point of the attack. Can they create something and hit back before the halftime break? As I mentioned, the first of a double-header today on grand final day of the Hills Football Premier League. Steve Martino finds Carnivale and a lovely first-time ball out to that right-hand side, looking to link it up with Jared Vella. An experienced player, certainly in the context of this young squad for Bruce Baker. He's had a lot of big game experience, played in last year's Hills Cup final, and here he is, Vella, finding Carnivale. Good feet, Josh Carnivale. Now he's looking to whip it across. Di Martino's the target. He's going to keep it in on the back post. And he looks to link it up now with Moyle. Kane Bell, who had a terrific opening to this match. Now, Davis. Embleton links with Vendrasco. Iredale turns it inside. This is good. Excellent play and a lovely ball in behind. Vendrasco. And it was astute defending there. Chris McLennan sticking to his duties there. Play they picked up from Glenhaven. Last year, part of the Glenhaven Premier League side. When that disbanded, McLennan and Williams said they've come across to Castle Hill United. And that was such an important piece of defending after a lovely counter-attack from the Colts. And here is Cooper Davis. He's got a bit of time and space, and as does Maguire. He's going to fancy a shot. It's come off the arm, off Carnivale, and it is going to be a free kick as we approach injury time in this first period. It's coming off the elbow there of Josh Carnivale, the strike from Maguire. And it's going to be the chance to get a set piece going with Killing. Looks like Cooper's also interested in this. Cooper Davis. They've also got Embleton over the ball. Killing scored a screamer last week, but it was from open play. This time, on the edge of the circle, just outside the 18-yard box. Cooper Davis is the number 14. He looks like he's interested with his left foot. Killink with the right foot, the number 21. Jared Nichols set up a 5-man wall with Gallagher also on the end of it, so making it a 6-man wall. And up steps Davis. It's straight at Gallagher. Same free kick in the end. That defensive record. So far they've been able to do a good job of protecting Jared Nichols' goal. Crisanto, who's slotting in alongside McLennan today with no Mitch Shorrock. And it was McLennan there winning that header. Mitch Shorrock's been an important part of this central defence throughout the season, but he's away on work duties today. Also missing a couple of other players, Nick Ballard. Suffered a groin injury in last week's semi-final. Not available today. Found Moyle on this near side. Now it's Maguire who's growing in influence as this half goes on, and tried to find Killink there with that long pass over the top of Gallagher. But our official on the near side, Chanel Odendahl. Her flag went straight up, right on the spot there. We are approaching the half-time of this grand final, season 2020 of the reserve grade in the Hills Football Premier League season. Defending champions, looking to do the double this season. The Premiers, Castle Hill United, with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a goal from Jake Hubbard. Lovely one-on-one finish. It was this man, so crucial in the build-up. DiMartino dispossessed there. That is the last action of the first half, which sees Castle Hill United going to the break with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of that goal I just mentioned, Jake Hubbard, scoring on 19 minutes. It's Kane Bell with the win in midfield, and he teed it up to Jake Hubbard. He took on his player in Vendrasco one-on-one, went around him and then hit it across the keeper in Clues. It's the only goal of the first half. The Premiers are in the box seat as we go to the half-time break. We will have a short break. 1-0 it is. Castle Hill United over Kellyville Kolts in the 2020 Hills Football Premier League Reserve Grade Grand Final. We'll be back with a short break. All the second half action to come from Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. Season 2020, if you're just joining us, it is half-time in the reserve grade grand final. It is the Premiers, Castle Hill United, who take a 1-0 lead into the second half over Kellyville Kolts. Castle Hill United running from left to right in this second period. They scored on 19 minutes through their left-sided attacker in Jake Hubbard. It's the only goal of the first half. Nice finish, that one across the keeper into the far corner. And let's see what Kellyville Kolts have planned for us in this second period. They're going to be kicking us off. Referee Anthony Capaldi gets the second half underway. The reserve grade grand final for season 2020. First of a double header here. A great way to finish what's been a terrific season in the fourth season of the Hills Association, the Premier League competition, going from strength to strength. And this year, Castle Hill United finishing premiers in the reserve grade. Colts just 1 point behind them. Not much separating them in terms of points, 34 versus 33. Castle Hill United had the edge over them in the two matches in the regular season. They won both of them. But it's the Colts who come forward. They've got Lachlan Cash coming forward from that left-hand side. Of course, it's unlimited interchange. Lachlan Cash starting on the bench, but he came on about 15 minutes to go in that first period. Here's Bayless. Under pressure here from Winiarski. Lachlan Cash was working back to help him out. Tony Tanous here in commentary with you. I'm here with the team from Spot On Video, as we have been right throughout the Hills Football Premier League season for 2020. Bringing you a weekly live stream match of the round. A great initiative from the Hills Association. Hope you've enjoyed the addition to the Hills Football for season 2020. It's been great to be part of it, and it is a grand final day that's bathed in sunshine as Vendrasco gets into the box now. A key player, and he fires that one only inches across the face of goal there. Alex Vendrasco, their leading scorer, starts generally at right back. He's moved forward into that attacking right position, and now it's Winiarski quickly looking to move it forward into counter-attack. Jared Vellas, the player up front with him. Now it's West, the skipper. Maguire, who was growing in influence as that half went on. Now to that right-hand side, Vendrasco looking to take on Moyle. Now it's at the feet of Carnivale. A nice turn from him, and he sets it up for Winiarski, and suddenly Jared Vellas in behind, and it's just overshot him, that pass. Couldn't quite bring it under control, a little bit too heavy. We're in the 48th minute here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. Of course, 2 45-minute halves. If we are locked at the end of full time, we will go to 2 minutes of extra time, 2 periods of 10 minutes of extra time. And if we are still locked at the end of extra time, it will be the penalty spots which decide the 2020 Hills Premier League Grand Final for reserve grade. As things stand, though, it's the Kellyville Kolts who have to come from behind. Castle Hill taking the lead. Happy in the early part of the second half just to absorb and hit on counter-attack. Reece Gabriel doing the pressing here. Looks like Lachlan Davis is back on in the attack on that left-hand side, and now it's with Blake Iredale. Appeals for handball. Now it's in behind Vendrasco. And it was a challenge there from Moyle. Vendrasco looking more and more influential to start the second half. A real key part of their attack on that right-hand side. Over to the back post this goes. And now it almost falls there to West. He quickly tried to wrap his right foot around that one. The captain, Ryan West, couldn't quite shape it towards goal. Such a tall figure and presence at those set pieces, along with Luke Bayliss. A real threat, those two central defenders. Castle Hill United certainly give away a bit of height advantage at those set pieces, but they got the numbers around there just to apply the pressure. It's been a wonderful morning and afternoon here at the northwest of Sydney for Hills Football Grand Final season 2020. We weren't sure the season was going to take off. Coronavirus, of course, forcing a 3 or 4 month delay in the start of the season. We've got a smorgasbord right across the Hills Association this afternoon. Games here, also at Hill Centenary, the home of Rouse Hill Rams, and also Fred Catterson, the home of Castle Hill United. All the girls and women's games in action tomorrow here at Bernie Mullane. So the synthetic pitches here getting a good working out over this October long weekend. 30-degree plus forecasts on both the days, so hot weather. Certainly hot underfoot on the synthetic pitch. but it's a chance at the back post. Davis was the player attacking that. Now it's Cooper Davis for Colts who clears. Of course, Lachlan Davis, the player in the number 34 jersey for Castle Hill United. He's set up here, but it's gone in shorter to Carnivale. Back out to Moyle. Can't get it beyond Maguire. He can't get it beyond Rose. West is forced to clear. We're in the 52nd minute here at Bernie Mullane. 1-0's the score, Castle Hill United. Reese Gabriel, the skipper for Castle Hill United, battling away with his counterpart, the skipper in Ryan West for Colts. Good start to the second half from Colts, but now they're on the back foot as Winiarski looks to link it with Carnivale. Nice ball out from Crisanto. Now at the feet of Carnivale. Chance to get it across. Looking for Winiarski. It's going to fall here. What a hit! A wonderful drive there. It's Castle Hill United to take a 2-0 lead. And what about the power there from Rose? Jacob Rose unleashing from the edge of the box. And it's 2-0 to Castle Hill United. They absorbed a bit of early pressure at the start of the second half from the Colts. And Jacob Rose is unleashed there with a thunderbolt. It's been a quiet game for him so far, but when he got involved there was a lot of punch on the end of that. And the keeper in Jared Clues could do nothing about that one, and it's 2-0 Castle Hill United over the Kellyville Colts. What a moment that was. And Carnivale and Winiarski certainly involved in the build-up there. Now it's with Vella into the feet of Winiarski. Carnivale again finding space. A nice first-time ball out to Davis. And now it's Rose again. Looks to stand this one up towards Vella, who has to retrieve. A little bit too heavy, that ball. But again, looking crisp in counter-attack with Castle Hill United. Jake Hubbard's opener, doubled up by Jacob Rose. Two wonderful strikes, two wonderful finishes. The Colts are going to go to their bench. On for the first time today is Moni Margic. And he goes straight into the centre of midfield, the number 23. Coming on for the 24 in Embleton. Margic, a couple of early touches just to settle into the game for him. Here is Maguire, his central midfield partner. Out to that right-hand side. Gardner can't quite link it with Vendrasco, who had a great chance early in the second half. He fired across the face of goal. It didn't quite sneak in at the back post. Carnivale, who had to pass a late fitness test, is growing more and more into this game since coming off the bench. Really a wonderful technician. Has played quite a bit of his youth football at MPL level, Spirit FC. Spent a bit of time at Blacktown City as well. Son of a famous Blacktown City name, John Carnivale. Of course, has spent plenty of time in the coaching ranks at Blacktown City. It's been a difficult year for a lot of these Castle Hill United players. The sad news, of course, midway through the season, the loss of their teammate Luke Gardoni as West looks to hit one, and Jared Nickel punches that one over the crossbar. Keeper hasn't had much to do, but he was fully alert there. And he produced a sharp save to his left to punch that one over. Lots of power on that hit from West. And a really difficult period to the Castle Hill United boys after the loss of Gardoni. Luke Gardoni, their teammate, suffered a cardiac arrest. A sad situation that unfolded at the midway point of the season. They have regathered and they've regrouped. And you sense that their teammate will be in the back of their thoughts today. Kane Bell comes back on for Moyle. He's had a bit of a rest. The holding midfielder, such a key part. Now with that 2-0 lead. Colts looking to halve the deficit here. Chance for Cash. Is this going to fall inside? A nice little flick over the top from Iredale. Keeps this one alive, Blake Iredale, and it was Reece Gabriel getting across just to do the defending. Good little physical confrontation there. Now Iredale and Bell squaring off in the middle. We're in the 57th minute. 2-0 it is. Castle Hill United. The goals coming from Hubbard and Rose. Can the Colts hit back? Over to the back post, looking for Bayless. A little bit too heavy there from Maguire. As I said, Castle Hill United have had the edge in the 2 games between these 2 sides so far. Won the first one back in round 4, 3-2 victory. They had a 2-0 lead. Colts came back and made it 2-2, so they'll know from that one that the job's not done just yet. Carnavale's gone back to the bench to have a bit of a rest. Looks like William said is back on it right back. Heavy challenge there on Winiarski, but the referee Capaldi calls play on as Gallagher gets forward from left back. Christian Gallagher looking over the top for Kane Bell, who does have a propensity to pop up in the box out of midfield. Often see him doing that. We saw last week. He set up one for Ben Kershaw by driving into the box in the second half. Loves to get forward. If you're just joining us, the first of a double header. Later on, we'll have first grade grand final between the Premiers, the Kellyville Kolts, are perhaps coming to it as the favourites, but there's only one team that's beaten them this year. 15 games they've played, only one loss, and that's come at the hands of Rouse Hill Rams. Featured as a match of the round earlier in the season at Valentine Sports Park. Back in round 9, so the Rams will bring plenty of confidence into that game. We're certainly looking forward to bringing it to you here on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. Tony Tanous and the team from Spot On Video will be here live as soon as this one finishes, the reserve grade grand final. Colts versus Rams, so stick around, spread the word. Let us know your thoughts. If you are on social media, it looks like the referee's just issued a yellow card here, having a chat to a couple of players in the middle. Looked like second goal scorer Rose was one of those. Just being spoken to. Khan killing the other one. Now it's a chance for Vella. He's giving it back up though to Cash. Now it's at the feet of Vandrasco. Looking to slide it in behind for Iredale, but the speed there of Gallagher, so crucial to this Castle Hill United defensive structure. Christian Gallagher getting just in front of Iredale there. West, chance to get this one in now. Looking inside, it's a climbing header. His central defensive partner went forward there, Luke Bayless. Wasn't a bad option at all. A good delivery from West. And Bayless did get on the end of it. He couldn't get his header down though. They have tested Nickel with a rasping drive from West early in the second half. Also Vendresco going close, so they have had their chances, the Colts. They'll certainly be giving everything to try and get back into this one. Into the feet it goes, James Maguire. Nice switch out now to Cash. Good touch from him. Suddenly he can link it with Cooper Davis. Two left footers looking to combine here. Cash still going. Past one and another. Now laying it off to Killink. Perhaps in two minds there, can't Killink. Isn't sure whether to go goal bound or play it over the top for Vendrasco. In strongly on the other side was Gardner. Just past the hour mark here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. Then it's going to be another interchange of course. Khan Killink's going to get a bit of a rest here. Looks like Braden Pritchard's going to see his first bit of action. Left back, that's going to force Lachlan Cash to move up into that advanced left-sided attacking position. So Pritchard in at left back, Cash with the move up the pitch. Here is Gallagher moving up the pitch for Castle Hill United. Nice work from Davis. Now Winiarski combining with Davis. Was he fouled? Referee waving play on. Winiarski working back, and now Bell. Could see the idea there. Jared Vella was open on this near side. Tried to feed him early. Jared Vella's now going to go back to the bench, and it looks like the first goal scorer, Jake Hubbard, he's going to come on. He's had a good rest. The live wire. He and Davis looking to cause a bit of havoc in that front third. They're going to be the two wide players. Margic gets it out through West. Showed a bit too much of it there to Gallagher. And now it's Hubbard with his first involvement since coming back on. Onto that left foot he goes. Such a tricky character on the ball, and he can't quite keep it on this occasion. And now Maguire. Over the top it goes to Cash. There's a bit of work to do to try and reel that one in. A little bit too heavy on the release. It's not quite clicking in that front third. This time it's going to be another interchange. It's going to be the skipper who goes to have a rest. Coming on for his first bit of action, Marcus Kilborn. So like for like swap there. Kilborn coming on into central defence. He's going to get his first touch here. Also big imposing figure like his skipper. It's a ball over the top looking for Vendrasco. What about that subtle fake there from Kane Bell? Pity the ball didn't quite match the build up. Heavy challenge there from Marjock. Illegal. So that's going to be a free kick. Warm conditions here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. Castle Hill United with a 2-0 lead as Gallagher looks to take on Gardner. Sticks to his defensive job, only as far as Hubbard. Now it's in at the feet of Bell. Tries to use his feet in the box. Kilborn. Bell sticks to the task and comes away with it. Can he find a target inside? Davis it is. He's going to be pressured here by Cash. Out it goes through Said. Williams said, so I mentioned one of those new acquisitions from Glenhaven. It's something that Bruce Baker identified at the end of last season. They came into the finals last season with only 21 fit players. So many. Pritchard goes into the book, so yellow card for Pritchard. Almost at the midway point of this second half. We've got a player down with an injury on this near side. And Bruce Baker, the man I just mentioned, he's come on to just check on his player here. Looks like Lachlan Davis. Players just taking the opportunity just to have a bit of a breather here while we wait for a resumption of play. If you're just joining us, first of a double header here on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. Tony Tanous and the team from Spot On Video will be here right till the end of the first grade grand final, which will be between the Kellyville Colts and the Rouse Hill Rams. Andrew Bennett's side that finished atop the league, only one loss for the season, against the fast finishing Rouse Hill Rams, a team very much on the rise. Matt Kennison's boys suffered a couple of big losses in the early rounds of the season, but haven't they finished strongly? Right now it's Castle Hill United looking to add to their tally here in the reserve grade grand final. Di Martino, though, applying the foul on Kilbourne. We are halfway through this second period. 2 minutes remains. Goal from Jacob Rose on 53 minutes, doubling the lead that was given to them by Jake Hubbard on 19 minutes. And the Premiers, who've been undefeated right through the 2020 campaign. 10 wins, in fact 11 when you add last week's semi-final. 11 wins, 4 draws. Only conceded 12 goals in their 15 games so far. That defensive solidity, the best defensive record. By a good 7-goal margin. They've got a chance here to add to it as Winiarski comes away with the ball. He waits for the move forward from Di Martino. Di Martino's in the box now. Can he find the supply? It was shut down by Bayliss. And it remains 2-0. Getting a few chances on the counter-attack with the space opening up, tiring legs. Sucking in the big ones here. It's been that kind of an afternoon. We haven't had hot conditions yet in the Hills Premier League, but it's come on the final weekend, grand final weekend, as Sed gets this one across. A chance here, and it was a good ball from William Sed, and it was McLennan there coming in from that far post, and his header was just over the crossbar. A nice delivery from William Sed, and the two teammates formerly of Glenhaven almost combining there for their new club in a grand final. Now Winiarski. Out it comes through Bell. Now Hubbard. Again, he drops onto that left foot. Can he keep this one in? It's gone over that byline though. Our assistant on the near side, Chanel Odendale. Keeping up with the play there. Understandably, both coaches continuing to ring the interchanges here. It is one of the features of the reserve grade. We haven't seen through the season. Of course, we've been bringing you a live match of the round action in the first grade, a weekly match of the round game. It's a pleasure to be here for the reserve grade grand final as well. The opportunity to provide you the double header in the showcase that is the Hills Football Premier League season deciders. 20 or so minutes remain. We are going to see another change. Winiarski's done a terrific job early in this second half. 25-minute hit out. Start of this second half, really involved in that crucial second goal that's given them a little bit of a buffer. And he's going to make way here. Do have a couple of other options that have yet to be used. One of those is Chris Beale, and he is the player that's come on in the yellow boots, the number 7. Can play in the midfield or in attack. Now Hubbard's getting across to do the defending. Does enough there to win the goal kick for Castle Hill United. He sends the brains trust over there. Bruce Breaker, Steve Berry, John O'Langan. They'll be pleased with the start to the second half. They absorbed a bit of the pressure from Kolts. Jared Nicol had to make a couple of good saves. They've doubled their lead. And right now they are in the box seat to make it the 4th premiership, 4th championship, in fact, in 5 years in the reserve grade. 2016, Castle Hill United were part of the Granville Association. The last 4 years they've been part of the Hills Association. They've won the last 2. 2018, last year against Kenthurst, 2-1 it finished there. So they're looking to make it a hat-trick of victories in the Hills Association reserve grade. Castle Hill United. They'll know the job's not done yet. Colts will keep coming. They've got Kewan Ellis, and now Lachlan Cash. He goes central. Killing's back on. Now Ellis, and it's a good save again. A fingertip job this time. Jared Nichols had to get a touch to that. It's a good hit. Kewan Ellis there. He's got 3 already. Does the central attacking midfielder this season, and he was looking to make it 4 with that hit from distance. Another little warning there for United. Got this set piece to deal with. It's in a dangerous area. And it's going to be William Said who clears the loose ball. Anywhere will do. Approaching the final 15 minutes of the reserve grade grand final for season 2020. Thanks for your company on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. Tony Tanusi, along with the team from Spot On Video. Producer Gary's been here since the early hours of the morning, doing a wonderful job. Along with our cameraman, Luca, bringing you the live footage. We'll be here all the way through to the end of the first grade grand final. Remember, if we do go into extra time in either game, 10 minutes of additional time in each game, in each half of extra time, and then penalties if we're still level. Cash dispossessed there, but it's at the feet now of Davis. Cooper Davis ducks inside, looks to tee it up to Cash. All hands on deck defensively. Clearance coming from Castle Hill United. Pressure mounting from the Colts. They're here at home and they want to go out with a bang. Final game of the season. Di Martino, was he fouled there? Play on's going to be the call. Hubbard's going to go one-on-one. And it was the work there of Thorne Richards just coming across to help out his central defender. We're going to see a yellow card here to Marjuk and a second yellow card. It's going to be a red card. So Marjuk's gone into the book a second time here. And he's sent off, and the Colts are going to have to play the remaining minutes here with only 10 players on the pitch. 15 minutes remain. 75th minute send-off here for Monty Marjuk. 2 yellow cards. Referee bringing the play back, allowing the play to go on. Once the advantage was over, he brought it back to deal with that yellow card. It was a second for Margic, and he's going to have to make his way around the pitch. Assistant on the far side, Dick Ritchie, just reminding him that he does have to leave the pitch once he's been red carded. So the Colts are going to have to see this one out, one short. They're down 2 goals, they're now down a player. Carnevale's back on. He's the target of this throw. He goes inside first time looking for Beale. Gallagher applying the pressure there on Richards. Ellis dispossessed illegally by Carnevale. Bayless looks like he's going to go forward as often as possible, particularly whenever there's a chance for a long aerial ball. Such a powerhouse in the air is Luke Bayless. That might leave a little bit of space at the back. Braden Pritchard working back there. This one's looking for Hubbard at the back post, dealt with by Vendrasco. Nice little touch from Davis. And it was Richards upended in the midfield. Gonna have to take this one quickly. Got just over 10 minutes to try and rescue this one. To the Colts. In it goes. Cross now with Pritchard. A little bit too straight, that ball. The keeper's given them a chance here. Couldn't quite bring it under control. Jared Nickel there. Slight lapse in concentration, so it's given a free kick. Corner, in fact, it's a corner here. They've sent the tall timber forward. The substitute and Kilbourne's at the back post in the 31 jersey. It's gone near post, oh, and it's in the end come off the post. Post comes to the help of Castle Hill United. It remains 2-0. Colts trying to finish this one strong. If they can get one here, still plenty of time. Of course, if they get 2, we get extra time. Kilbourne's at the back post. Nickel comes. Chance to keep it alive here. Cooper Davis, onto the left foot he goes. McLennan, who's had a very strong game in the centre of defence. Marshalling that defence of Castle Hill United. Of course, no Mitch Shorrock today, but Crisanto and McLennan have so far stepped up and done the job. Now Killink hasn't quite been his afternoon. Important player, of course, in this Colts side. We are in the final 10 minutes here at Bernie Mullane. Castle Hill United continue to lead. The goals coming on 19 minutes through Jake Hubbard, on 53 minutes through Jacob Rose, both wonderful finishers. Hubbard showing the one-on-one skills to round his direct opponent in Verdasco and then shape his strike across the keeper from just inside the 18-yard box. And then Jake Rose with a first-time hit, a powerhouse hit. Thunderbolt from just outside the 18-yard box to make it 2-0. Certainly ones to check out if you're just joining the coverage, stick around this afternoon. We've got the first grade grand final to come after this one. It will be the premiers in Kellyville Kolts, looking to win their second Hills Premier League first grade title or first grade championship. They won it in 2018. One of only two clubs to have won the Premier League title, first grade, along with Kenthurst. They're looking to join Kenthurst with 2 championships. That game, of course, will come later on. Rouseville Rams have certainly fancied themselves. They're only in their second year in the Hills Premier League, and they've had a wonderful second half of the campaign. Young team that's certainly on the up, growing in confidence with every performance. And they're the only team to have beaten Kellyville Kolts this season. So we're set for a big one in the first grade grand final. Be sure to stick around for that one. Colts still feel like they've got time in this one. Castle United happy to just defend for now. 6.5 or so minutes remain. Of regulation time, and we will get additional stoppage time as Killink gets a little bit of space. Out he comes through, Cooper Davis. Now forward they come. Chance to whip this one in. Looking to stand it up to the back post. Vendrasco couldn't quite get his header to that one before it crossed the byline, so it is going to be a goal kick to Castle Hill United. Colts need to win this one. It's Reece Gabriel, the skipper. Now they go quickly, and it's suddenly 3v1 in counter-attack. Rose turning. He's got the other goal scorer in the middle. Rose is going to go direct again, and this time it's a save from Claus. Clues there. Getting the gloves to it. Now Carnivale. Gallagher plays it forward. Rose is in plenty of space. He's going to keep possession now. Bayless. What a battle for possession that was. Strong challenge from both players as Hubbard gets in the box now. Nick Wright, the defender there for Castle Hill United. Had to put his body on the line with a 2-0 lead. You're going to see the second goal scorer have a bit of a rest now. Looks like Kane Bell's going to come back on. So central midfielder for a central midfielder. And it's Hubbard. Can he apply the killer ball here? Bell's at the back post, and he went direct there. Controlled it on the chest. It's side netting though, and it remains 2-0. We are in the final 5 minutes of regulation time in the reserve grade grand final for season 2020 in the Hills Football Premier League season. Tony Tanous here along with the team from Spot On Video. Pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Beautiful conditions. Really warm, over 30 degrees. Its temperature gauges hit 31. It'll certainly be warmer on the pitch on this synthetic surface. Both coaches wisely ringing the changes, trying to keep the players as fresh as possible. Fortunately, there is a little bit of a breeze just to keep the players a little bit cool. The fans that are assembled here at Bernie Mullane looking for any shady spot they can find. Nice little bit of combination here from the Colts has earned them a free kick. And with 3.5 minutes remaining. They know that they just about need to score here. Killing Kitties over the ball. They've sent forward the likes of Kilborn. So Bayless is in there, as is Pritchard. Verdasco's always a target as well in the air. In it comes from Killink. Can they score? They have scored! It is Verdasco, and he wants the ball back quickly. And the Colts have halved the deficit. 2-1 it is. Castle Hill United over the Colts. We've spoken about the aerial threat at set pieces. And finally they get one right. Finally Killink lays one onto the head of Verdasco. And they're back in it with only 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Game on here at Bernie Mullane. Maguire's back on now for the Colts. Verdasco on 87 minutes. Spoken about his threat right throughout the season, and he's produced one on grand final day, and it's given them a little bit of a sniff. Now it's all hands on deck for the Castle Hill United side. Carnivale happy to clear anywhere. Here is Ellis using the space out wide. Thorn Richards, he's shot or cross blocked, and suddenly one-on-one, Hubbard's away. He's got Kilborn to beat. Hubbard's in behind, now the keeper to beat! And he shaped that one over the crossbar, and the Colts remain in it. 2-1 it is, Castle Hill United. Thrilling end-to-end action now. Everything at stake. 1.5 minutes of regulation time left here at Bernie Mullane. Thrilling into this reserve grade grand final. It's a prelude to what's to come. Stick around, we're in for a wonderful afternoon. Great way to wrap up the Hills Football Premier League season. Here is Davis, who's been an influence off the bench, playing in that central attacking midfield role. Now it's out with Kewan Ellis, trying to drive past Bell, who sticks to his task. Ellis comes away with it though, and suddenly they're almost in behind. Verdasco was the target. He gets the header in. Crisanto has to deal with it, and the flag goes up. It's going to be a relieving free kick here to Castle Hill United. They'll be happy to eat the seconds away. Nick Ritchie's flag going up on that far side. 30 seconds of regulation time. Ben Kershaw's going to come back on for a late stint here. Castle Hill United, the scoreline is exactly the same as we saw in last year's winning grand final for them. 2-1 last year over Kenthurst. 2-1 it is over the Colts at the moment. The Colts have hit back late. They still have perhaps a couple of minutes of additional time. Let's see how much stoppages will be played here. Anywhere will do here for Ben Kershaw, the stalwart of this club. Hubbard, who had a chance to seal it, might get another one here. Is that a foul? Climbing over the top. Good work from Hubbard there just to get his body in the way. Verdasco wanted to attack that one, and he's given away a yellow card. In the first minute of stoppage time, Castle Hill United. The Premier's looking to complete another double. Kershaw, he's got the short options here. He goes looking to drop it to the feet of Bell. Now he's got Carnivale available, happy to keep possession. Carnivale puts it into the corner. Kershaw using his body. The Colts have won it. Now Maguire wants to go long. It's going to be a free kick here to the Colts. Chance to send the tall timber forward. We've seen them halve the deficit from a set piece. Can they level it up and take it to additional time? Late drama here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. The Hills Football Premier League Grand Final in the reserve grade. The Colts trail 2-0 with only a couple of minutes to go. They've halved the deficit. Now into stoppage time. They're sending the tall timber forward. West is at the back post. Chance for Vendrasco, and he's levelled it up with a towering header. Can you believe this? Alex Vendrasco at the back post has got himself a late double, and we are going into overtime here. Extra time looms at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. It's the set pieces of the Kellyville Kolts which have proved the threat late on. Late drama at Bernie Mullane. We are level at 2-2. Vendrasco with a double. A wonderful header at the back post there. Castle Hill in the box seat for 87 minutes. And suddenly, game on here at Bernie Mullane. Can you believe this? That is almost the last action of a pulsating grand final. Castle Hill United had the lead for all but the last few minutes. Jake Hubbard and Jacob Rose gave him a 2-0 lead. And then it was the late show from the Kellyville Kolts. A double for Vendrasco, their leading scorer. He popped up with 2 from set pieces. The second one deep into stoppage time to take this to extra time. It's been a fantastic grand final, and we have got more for you. Stick around here on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. We will keep our cameras rolling. Players getting a chance just to take a momentary breather. Take on the fluids. Our officials also coming across perhaps to take on their own fluids. We might just have a quick pause. Second half finishing with a double from Vendrasco to take it to 2-2. And that's the full-time score. We will go to extra time, 2 10-minute periods. No golden goals, so we will have the full 20 minutes of extra time. And if we are still level, we will be going to the penalty spot to decide the reserve grade grand final for season 2020. Beautiful. Back come the players. What a finish to that reserve grade grand final. If you're just joining us, Tony Tanous here from Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. Castle Hill United had a 2-0 lead on 87 minutes, and it was the late show from the Kellyville Kolts, the team that finished only a point behind them on the table at the end of the season. So close was the ladder, 34 points versus 33, and very little separating them throughout the 90 minutes. Castle Hill United had a big advantage. They had a 2-0 lead, but a double from Vendasco, both from set pieces late on. And Andrew Bennett and Liam Lawler's boys playing at home, this grand final that's being played at Bernie Mullane, their home ground. They've got the job done. They've taken this to extra time. So sit back, strap yourselves in. This is going to be some finish to this match. 10 minutes each way. And if we are still level, we will go to the penalty spot to decide the reserve grade championship of season 2020. Both coaches just taking the chance to make sure their players take on the fluids and a little bit of tactical discussion. Bit of a pep talk. How will Castle Hill United respond? They've had the lead. They've yet to be defeated all season. And they had the lead for large parts and they've been pegged back late on. Now they have to respond, the youngsters. They gave away a number of set pieces towards the end of that match and that's come back to haunt them a little bit. 2-2, it's finished. Extra time we go. Referee Anthony Capaldi. Referees also taking on their fluids. We are set to get extra time underway in the reserve grade grand final for season 2020. 2-2 the score. Castle Hill United in the white tops, green shorts, and they're running from right to left. Let's see if they can get back on the front foot here through Hubbard. In it comes, away by Kilbourne. Killink, who was quiet for large parts of the match, but he's provided a couple of telling set-piece deliveries. Now Davis looking to get it forward for Gardner. In fact, it's the starting left back in Ritter who's back on. Zed Ritter. So a bit of freshness down that left-hand side. Lachlan Constable made a big impact down that left-hand side, but it's back to the starting left back in Ritter. Liam Lawler looking for the freshest players he's got out there. Of course, the extra time means that the first grade match, which is scheduled for a 3 o'clock kickoff, that's now going to start late. It will follow immediately after this reserve grade grand final. Kellyville Kolts versus Rouse Hill Rams in that one. Not that the players in the first grade game really need to warm up in these conditions, but they'll certainly need to get the preparation timing right. They now know that there's another 20 minutes of extra time. Potential, of course, of penalties. Did a great job defensively, McLennan and also Crisanto, but one too many set pieces in the end against this tall Colts side that have always really mounted a threat at set pieces. You can see just through their height and size that they're always going to challenge, and so it's proved. Vendrasco, the right back, who's not only gets forward with the ball at feet, such a threat in the air. And his goal tally continues to mount in season 2020. Here's Cooper Davis. Confidence up from this Colts side. Andrew Bennett's boys starting to really purr with confidence now. That time a little bit too close on that far side between Rodder and also Ellis. It's going to be a chance for Castle Hill United to get themselves back in this one. Rose has just come back on now. Bruce Baker just trying to rally his youngsters on that far side. dealt with by Kilborn, who's done a good job in the centre of defence since coming on. We saw him beaten a little bit earlier on by Hubbard, who fired away a shot that would have made it 3-1 to Castle Hill United and would have most likely sealed it for them. Didn't get it on target. Colts went down the other end, got a free kick, and they were able to get their equaliser. We've had 4 minutes of the first period of a 10-minute extra time period. Here is Davis. Now Kane Bell. Castle Hill United just trying to keep a bit of possession here. They got it at the feet of Gallagher, who looks to hit the feet now of Carnivale. Nice turn. It was a good idea, in fact, from Di Martino. Couldn't quite make it stick. Now Crisanto. Out it goes to that right-hand side. Players stay down in the middle, and the referee's just going to check on the well-being there of James Maguire, the central midfielder for the Kellyville Colts. He's down in a dangerous area, so the referee making the right call there just to halt the play. Last thing you want is for a ball to come into the box, player down, and players attacking that without seeing the player on the ground. So good work from our match officials. They've done a wonderful job today, as they have done all season, right across the Hills Association. Will be a drop ball. Castle Hill get it back. 4.5 minutes of this first period of extra time remaining. Coming forward is Gallagher. Sticking to his defensive task there was Thorne Richards. And remember, Colts are down a man. The send-off, of course, of Marjuk on 75 minutes. Since then, the Colts have been able to turn it around. Can you believe it? 10-man Colts. Castle Hill United has conceded a couple from set pieces in these goals. Can they create one themselves? Kane Bell is most often their target at set pieces. He attacks this one, as did Rose, and he's disappointed he couldn't shape his header towards goal. Jacob Rose, who got the second for Castle Hill United. See them stand it up to the back post, looking for Kane Bell, who's so often the target. Just over 3 minutes of this first period of extra time remain. Grand final of reserve grade in the Hills Football Premier League. The Premiers, Castle Hill United, had a 2-0 lead and one of their opponents sent off. Perhaps they started to think about the championship. The Colts had other ideas. They had some set pieces and they were able to punch 2 of them away. A man down. Here's Maguire. Player on the near side. Richards is in an offside position. That early ball. 2.5 minutes remain of this first period of extra time. Now it's McLennan. Hubbard can't make it stick. They're going to get another chance here through Bell. Strong work again. Kane Bell posing himself physically in that midfield. Getting his body between the man and ball, winning the free kick. Bell's going to go forward. Sucking in the big ones here. You can see McLennan asking his number 6 to go forward. This one's drifted in towards Keeper coming out. Martino was the target. Clues. What a tall presence he is. His clearance only as far as Bell, though. And it's now at the feet of Hubbard. Not quite on the same wavelength there with Di Martino. And here's Maguire. On the dribble. On his favoured left foot. Trying to stick to his task there was Moyle. And suddenly it's on the edge of the box with Davis. Couldn't quite link it. He's going to get another chance, so he's going to leave it, in fact. Is that a foul on Iredale? It is a foul. Right on the edge of the circle by Kane Bell. And the Colts, they trailed by 2. A man down and only 3 minutes remaining. With 30 seconds remaining in the first period of extra time, they're going to have a set piece. And they've got a chance here. Cooper Davis is interested in this, as is Iredale. Looks like Iredale who's going to take the responsibility here. 5 men in the wall. Iredale steps up, but he can't get it under the crossbar, and it remains 2-2. That is the end of the first period of extra time. Referee just asking for the players to switch around straight away. You sense they might just make their way towards the dugouts for a quick refreshment. Such are the conditions. Quick pep talk from their coaches, Bruce Baker, and also Andrew Bennett and Liam Lawler. The referees taking the opportunity just to have a refreshment themselves. It's that type of afternoon. What a fantastic contest it's been. Hope you have enjoyed the coverage on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. We've been here right throughout the Hills Premier League season, match of the round every week. And it's been a great competition this season, a showcase for so much young talent. Lots of goals, lots of great goals, good quality conditions and facilities here at Bernie Mullane. Wonderful. We've been at VSP right throughout the season, the home of football, New South Wales. It's great to showcase one of the clubs or one of the grounds in the Hills Association for Grand Final Day. So much more to come. Live and exclusive later on. The first grade Grand Final, Kellyville Colts, the premiers. They're taking on the team that finished in third spot, the team that certainly on the rise, the Rouse Hill Rams. What a contest that promises to be, but still so much to play for here in the reserve grade. 2-2 it is. The Colts will be kicking us off in this second period. Now running from right to left. Forward it goes from Vendasco. This time it's picked up by Rose. Happy to knock it back to Crisanto. Now it's Carnivale just dropping off to set it up. To Will Said. A little bit too heavy there. You can see what he was trying to do when Iarski was the target. Just over 9 minutes remain. Remember, if we are level at the end of extra time, penalty shootout will decide the championship for season 2020. Forward it goes. Carnivale. And now it's at the feet of Davis. An important challenge. Kept his calm there. Looked like it was Ritter. Now it's Rose. So throw into United. Winiarski knocks it back to Carnivale. Out it goes to Rose. Blocked by Cooper Davis. Now Carnivale with the switch out. Getting plenty of touches here. And now it's Rose looking to flick it into Winiarski. Went down. They've still got it here. Edge of the box. Quickly closing it down was Maguire. A little bit too heavy again from Will. Williams said. Cooper Davis shows a little bit too much of it to Bell. And suddenly, Lachlan Davis is in behind here, and into the box he goes. On the dribble, he goes down. Referee, happy to wave play on. Winiarski takes the snapshot. Now it's cleared by Kilborn. Colts survive. Now they try it from long distance, and it wasn't a bad effort there from McLennan. Chris McLennan hitting one from distance. Clues look like he had that one just about covered. Been sat back on the back foot for large parts, have Castle Hill United in recent times, but back on the front foot here. For the second time, it's Lachlan Davis has gone down after that dribble, that collision inside the box. You wonder which of the two will fancy themselves if it does go down to penalties. You wonder who's practiced. In fact, I did ask Liam Lawler, Andrew Bennett. They were hopeful that it wouldn't go down to penalties. They haven't practiced for it specifically. The message has been that we'll try and win it in the 90 minutes, and that didn't quite happen, but for them, they'll be pretty pleased to be where they are right now. 87 minutes, they looked like it at all. Another straight pass there. Tension mounting. Every pass has got to be right on the money. Remember, the Colts are a man down. 2 yellow cards to Monty Margic. Nice little feet here from Richards, and he's got a bit of space. Working back his Rose, just applying enough pressure. Cash can't get it forward, but he's going to get another chance. And he looked to feed Idale. Crisanto stepping out. Kilborn doing likewise. Working back is Winiarski. Every battle so critical. Winiarski doing a great job there. Kilborn forced into a lunge, giving away the free kick. Di Martino gets it out to Gallagher, who's got the freshness to summon a late flurry or two forward. Is that too heavy from Carnivale? Gallagher's got the speed, he reels it in, and now he looks to get it across. Di Martino, chance to keep it alive. A little bit heavy on the touch, but he's earned a corner, has he? No, it's going to be a goal kick. Was a little bit too heavy in the end. Just under 5 minutes of time remains. We have seen a couple of players go down with injury, so you wonder if there may be some additional time. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on the Hills Football Premier League Facebook page. Tony Tanous in commentary with you, here with the team from Spot On Video. Bit of overtime in the reserve grade grand final, which means there'll be a late start in first grade. Stick around for a great afternoon there. Seen the threat that the Colts have posed at set pieces. Sure, the message from Bruce Baker, Steve Berry, John Langan. Don't give away too many set pieces. Again, it's Kilborn. Again, it's West. Again, it's Maguire who go forward. And it looks like Bayless is going to come on almost as a pinch hitter for this set piece. So the tall timber's certainly out there. Vendrasco stayed back. They've got plenty to aim for. Kilbourne's the target. The header down. It's going to fall now, edge of the box for Iredale. And he can't quite get the trajectory on that hit. Just over 3 minutes remain in the reserve grade grand final for season 2020. 2-2, it's the score as it was at the end of full time. Forward from Nickel. Cash trying to hold it up. Falls for Iredale. Now Kilbourne. Forward he goes. Keeper calling that one. Taking the responsibility, young Nickel. What about the responsibility he might be entrusted with if it does go to penalties? Both keepers. Now it comes forward though. Kolts trying to mount the comeback of all comebacks. A player down, 2 down, 3 to go. Castle Hill now feed Hubbard, who can go one-on-one against Vendrasco. Chance now, and it almost deflects. Bayliss with the initial clearance, and it was Kilbourne and Winiarski there, and it deflected off one of those two and almost passed the keeper into the net. In fact, it has come off a Colts player. What an OG that would have been. They sent Kane Bell forward, deep into extra time. Chance now. Important header from Bayliss. Got enough on it just to direct it away from goal. 2 minutes remains. Drama till the end here in the Hills Premier League Reserve Grade Grand Final. Over the top, it goes, Kilbourne. Now away by Richards. Crescento has to play fetch with 1.5 minutes remaining. Is there one last chapter in this grand final? The flick on from Di Martino. Bayliss, anywhere will do for the Colts. They're down a player, and you sense from where they were on 87 minutes, they'll be more than pleased to take this to penalties. All hands on deck defensively now. Looks like Reece Gabriel and Ben Kershaw, the players that are going to come on. Late change here. McLennan's the other one that's going to come off. So Reece Gabriel and Ben Kershaw, he's popped up with some crucial goals off the bench this season. Can he provide one here? Verdasco clears. This time doing his defensive job. Forward it goes from Will. Said. Anywhere will do here for Maguire. He's going to get a second chance to clear. But it looks like it's going to be a corner unless Cash can deal with it. He can't. It is going to be a corner. And we're in the final seconds. We have seen a couple of players go down with injury, so he sensed the ref might add a few seconds here. In it comes from Hubbard. Stands this one up to the back post. Where's this one going to fall? Referee has a look at his watch. Is he going to blow the full-time whistle? Do Castle Hill United have time? Will said. Now, is it a counter-attack chance? Cannavale's going to pick it up and spit it out to that left-hand side for Gallagher. Can he provide a telling late contribution? Now it's at the feet of Di Martino. Chance now for Kershaw, that player I spoke about who has a knack of popping up in the box. And it's going to be another, this time a relieving free kick. It's going to be a free kick to the Colts, and they can breathe a big sigh of relief. The pressure was on there. Players going down with injuries. Even the goalkeeper looks like he's cramping up. Looks like the keeper in Clues is cramping up as well. And that is the end of the action in a ripping grand final of the reserve grade in the Hills Football Premier League. It finishes 2-2. Castle Hill United had the lead for 87 minutes. Colts had a player sent off on 75 minutes. And they mounted a great comeback late on. 2 goals within a few minutes from Alex Verdasco took them to extra time. They've been able to survive that. And we are going to penalties to decide the reserve grade grand final of the Hills Football Premier League season 2020. All the way to pens. We will wait to find out what end the penalties will be taken. Of course, the referees will toss a coin with the captains. And drama till the end. And of course, there's much more to come. The first grade grand final, the players thought they were going to come on shortly after 3 o'clock. They're still waiting. They've had their warm-up, an extended warm-up. We are going all the way to the penalty spot to decide the grand final of season 2020 in the reserve grade of the Hills Football Premier League season. What a way to decide the Hills Premier League grand final for season 2020. We are going to the spot, and our keepers, Jared Nichol and Jared Clues. And it looks like it will be Castle Hill United stepping up first, and it looks like it will be the skipper in Reece Gabriel. So the first penalty to be taken by Reece Gabriel, and he will be facing Jared Clues. What a comeback it was from the Colts, Castle Hill United. They certainly came in as the favourites with an undefeated record. They've been able to maintain that, but their 2-goal lead has been pegged back by a wonderful late flurry from the Kellyville Colts. 2 set-piece goals to Alex Verdasco. Took us to extra time, and we are now going to the penalty spot. A late drama all the way to the end of the Hills Premier League season. Anthony Capaldi just sorting out the formalities here, and it is going to be Reece Gabriel to step up for the first one. A tall, imposing figure that is Jared Clues. Gabriel, the skipper, takes the responsibility. Clues dancing around, making himself as big a presence as possible. And it's Gabriel who steps up. And he misses. It's advantage to the Colts. He can't hit the target. And it's advantage Colts. Up steps Blake Iredale for them. So the chance for the number 9, he's wearing the number 13 jersey, but Blake Iredale assumes the responsibility for the Colts. Faced by Jared Nichol. Can he give the Colts the lead? Up steps Blake Iredale, and he punches it away. The keeper guesses the right way, but Iredale finds the corner, and it is 1-0 to the Colts. Now it's the turn of Ben Kershaw, their leading scorer in reserve grade this season. He's popped up with some crucial goals off the bench this year, and he needs to find the back of the net here. The player that embodies everything about the Castle Hill United club. He's had a long injury layoff with a broken leg, and he has to score here to draw it level at 1-1. Up he steps, and he does bury it away. Kershaw makes it 1-1. Now it looks like it's James Maguire. One's the score. 1 miss to Castle Hill United, 1 score to Castle Hill United. Colts have got their only one so far, but it's Maguire who's going to try and give them a 2-1 lead. Faced by Jared Nichols, up steps Maguire, and he punches it away as well. Nicely taken penalty. 2-1 it is to the Colts. Now it's going to be Hubbard, the player who got the opening goal, the only goal of the first half of the match, to give Castle Hill United a 1-0 lead. It's a neat left foot finish on that occasion. There's no margin for error really now for Castle Hill United. Hubbard to make it 2-2. Up he steps, and he sends the keeper the wrong way. It's a neat finish from Jake Hubbard. 2-2 it is. And now it's the turn of the skipper. We've seen the skipper for Castle Hill United miss. And Reece Gabriel. This time it's the turn of the skipper for the Colts. He's come up in quite a hurry. Up steps West. And he goes the same direction. And he makes it 3-2 to the Colts. Advantage Kellyville Colts. They're at home here. Now it's going to be Rose. 3-2 is the score in the penalty shootout after it finished 2-2. Jacob Rose, who got the second goal early in the second half in this same net, has to find the back of the net here to keep it alive for Castle Hill United. And he gets it just under the crossbar. Jacob Rose makes it 3-3. And now it's going to be the goal-scoring hero for the Colts in Verdasco, who steps up. He's got himself a brace. Their leading scorer. Both goals coming from headers. This time it's the right foot. Verdasco with the chance to make it 4-3. Drama till the end here at Bernie Mullane Sports Complex. Verdasco just making sure he's got it in exactly the spot he wants. He hasn't turned around to face the keeper yet. Referee just sorting a few little things out here, along with his assistant. Just making Verdasco wait. Can Nichols produce a save? Castle Hill United. Looks like Will Sed's been asked to go to the bench here. The drama all the way to the end is Verdasco! Does send the keeper the wrong way again. And Kellyville Colts take a 4-3 lead. Now it's going to be Carnevale. And he has to score now. 4-3 to Kellyville Colts over Castle Hill United. And Carnevale has to score to keep it alive. Miss and the Colts win the 2020 Reserve Grade Championship. Carnevale has to hit the back of the net here. Clues standing in his way, and Clues makes the save, and it's the Colts who mount the comeback of all comebacks to win the championship in reserve grade here. A penalty shootout decided it, a 4-3 victory in the penalty shootout. And Jared Clues is the hero in the end. He makes the save. But what about that comeback from the Colts? They look down and out, a player down, 2 goals down on 87 minutes. Somehow they've scored 2 goals. The second one coming deep into stoppage time. They survived extra time. They took it to penalties. And they scored there for Castle Hill United. Gabriel hit one wide early, and Carnevale was denied by Clues in the end. And it's the Colts who win the reserve grade premiership for the season 2020. What a grand final it's been. Hope you've enjoyed the grand final. We will have a quick presentation, but we will be taking a break on the live stream, and we will wrap up the reserve grade grand final, which is finished with Kellyville Colts as the champions. We'll be back in a few moments with the first grade grand final. Kellyville Kolts looking to make it a double. They're going to taking on the Rouse Hill Rams. Join us shortly for that one.